Greetings, Dr. Joseph Martin. Vedanta, Babaji, Sanatan Dharma, the voice of freedom. Now, Vedanta is one of the most ancient spiritual traditions of raising consciousness and liberation and freedom, or moksha as we say in Sanskrit. And of the 6 different types of Hindu philosophy, it is the most advanced and the most unifying. It unifies all the knowledge and wisdom of all the Vedas, which is what Vedanta means, and it also unifies and brings to the awareness all of the knowledge and wisdom of the Upanishads of ancient India. And as we know, on planet Earth, for what we can tell at this time, we don't have the archaeological evidence for further previous incarnations of the Lemurians and Atlantis, although I will be doing more videos on Lemurians and Atlanteans. Vedanta is from the most ancient spiritual tradition on planet Earth that most people would know about, and this is from India. Now, what is Vedanta then? We've called it the voice of freedom. It is the most unifying set of principles, practices, techniques for raising your consciousness that include, of course, yoga and meditation, to give you full liberation, full consciousness, superconsciousness, and freedom. And it is oneness with the source of all that is. In the Hindu tradition, we call it Atman, or the self, or pure consciousness. And it will give you, as you experience it with a trained teacher or guru, but you can also do this through the reading of various books, which I'll give you in a few minutes, of the path to full liberation, the way to freedom. Advaita Vedanta is the special term we use for the unification of all this metaphysical philosophy and source consciousness. It unifies itself in a universalistic way for the future, where all people have to realize that we can move to a place where our consciousness is simply one, as it is in truth and in reality, not only on the earth, but also in the universe. And this would be the oneness with the Christ consciousness and oneness with the Buddha consciousness as well. How has Vedanta been brought to the world? It was brought to the world through Adi-Shankara, and now we know there is a wisdom growing once again in India through the Shankaracharya, the 4 regions of India. And it's been brought mostly to the West through 2 individuals. One of them is Vivekananda, who is from the Ramakrishna Vivekananda Society, of which every nation and culture on the planet now has some kind of local group that you can look for. And there are many books by Vivekananda, which I love and read and I use in many of my teachings. And the 2 that I love the most are Raja Yoga, which is the king of all yogas, and Vedanta, the voice of freedom. Now, apart from Vivekananda, who lived about 120 years ago, we have Babaji. Babaji is a generic term, as you know, in India. It means great one, holy one, father, and so on. But I'm particularly referring to Babaji Nagaraj. Babaji Nagaraj is known for most of us in the last half a century as the wise man who came out of a ball of light in a cave in Haidakan in northern India and lived between 1970 and 1984 and was known worldwide, had many kind of sishyas or students from all countries of the world, and resided in India, in northern India, in Rishikesh, just north of there. During this time, he shared with the world the true nature of many things. Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma is the truth, the unifying principle of eternal life, of immortality. And it's the way to experience immortality while you're still in the flesh. Babaji has many students around the world and many centers around the world, and some of you watching this video may be more interested in Babaji and want to look into him as a person. Who is Babaji? He's a Mahavatar, a great avatar. He's a supreme Paramahansa, or great one. He is an incarnation of Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer of all things evil and unnecessary for fulfillment of highest consciousness, goodness, truth, beauty, love, and light, and joy, and strength. In the video just subsequent to this one, I will be sharing with you a book that Babaji put out to the world in 2007, so you stay tuned for that one. Babaji is a blessed soul. I personally have known him many lifetimes, and especially all through this lifetime. He's the one that I always go to. He's my go-to chap, if you like to say that, because you always want to go to the top when you're looking for answers in this world or the next world or the universe itself. And the supreme creator of all that would be a good suggestion to go to. You can ask questions of Babaji, you can get to know him personally, and that's the purpose of this video. For it is a time in the 21st century on planet Earth when there's a highest consciousness coming from the great source light of all that is in the universes down through the dimensions to planet Earth and the human consciousness. And you can tune into it. You can tune into it in your heart, in your mind, and in your soul, and in your body. And great healing will come to you as a result of getting to know Babaji and the path and the way to true freedom and liberation, or moksha, through Vedanta and the Sanatan Dharma. Now, there are many kinds of yoga, and some of the ones that are useful for you to look at, and it's highly recommended that you read up on some of them. Raja Yoga, the king of yogas, it puts it all together if you like. Bhakti Yoga, or the true essence of compassion and gentleness from the heart as you share with other people and love them. Jnana Yoga, which is wisdom yoga. Shmi Yoga, which is laughter and joyful yoga. And mostly for Babaji, it's Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is the necessity for each of us to work out our psychological, spiritual, emotional corrections when we come back to the physical body in this life, in this world, and use Karma Yoga, which is work yoga. It's a yoga of doing. It's doing good things for other people. It's serving other people. It's serving the poor people of the world. It's serving those people who yet need to advance their consciousness in the world. It's educating people. It's serving them in so many ways. This is deeply what Karma Yoga is. And Babaji would suggest to all of us that we continue to serve one another by doing Bhakti Karma Yoga. The way that Babaji has brought it to the world is through what he calls Karma or Kundalini Kriya Yoga, which is, there are some other videos that I have done and will continue to do. Kundalini Kriya Yoga is the ability to take the chi, the prana, the energy of the universe and from the earth and from the trees and from the 5 elements, and bring it through you, through your spirit, your mind, your emotions, and your physical body, the 4 bodies, and energized by detoxifying of all the blockages and splits and all the negativity or the illness inside, and freeing yourself and transmuting all those energies and creating perfect health, perfect consciousness, perfect joy. Now, how does that sound to you? So I do suggest that you look into this more. Babaji Nagaraj has had many, many lives in India. And that was, one of them was in Haidakan Baba, which is in the 18th and 19th centuries. He's well known as a figure in India and, of course, now worldwide, especially through the rebirthing technique, which he brought to the West and brought back again. It's an ancient wisdom, energy, healing tradition from many, many centuries, and in fact millennia ago, brought back for our time in this time of great need and crisis, where there's a crisis of meaning and depression and loneliness and sadness and grief on the planet, where people need to find a path, a true path, an ancient, true, tried and true path to find liberation, meaning, purpose, love, joy, connection, and all the good things that humans want to enjoy here in this world at this time. Now, Babaji also was a student about 1800 years ago of the one of the originators of Ayurveda, and many of you know about that, a very ancient modern wisdom, energy, medicine tradition. And Babaji was a student of Agastyar, who was the originator of the modern healing techniques that we know of in Ayurveda. So some of you who are involved in that or interested in that may definitely want to check out Babaji and Vedanta as well. What Vedanta does for us? Well, I can share my own personal experience and the experience of many others who have trained assiduously over many years and decades in this and previous lives, that it gives you freedom, truth, immortality, and a sense of ongoing joy, peace, and trust in all that goes on in your life and in the universe. It's a path to beauty, it's a path to joy, it's a blessing way path. And we could say that it's a path mostly of inner purpose and inner self-realization. And that would be the key to answer the questions of who am I, where did I come from, why am I here, and what am I to do in the very few short years that I have here on the earth, in this body. As Walt Whitman is fond of saying, we're just leaves of grass. We come from for a short cycle of time, and time is the one thing that we can never get back. So while you're here, good to discipline yourself to create the path on a daily basis in a very kind of devoted way, a disciplined way, a dedicated way, to find your devotion to your soul, your devotion to the source of all the light within the universe, which is right here in your heart, superconsciousness. You need to just meditate and focus and do your yoga and breath work and rebirthing breath work to go into the soul and release the light that is in there. Light upon life, light upon your life, and light upon the love that you are, and light upon the love that you can expand magnetically and share with all our relations, all beings on earth and beyond. This is what Vedanta and these Babaji techniques of Kundalini Kriya Yoga do for us. Self-realization, self-actualization, and the highest spiritual, psychological self-worth, self-esteem, and self-confidence. Now, if this is something that you lack or something you know you need and know you can benefit from, I highly recommend that you look into Vedanta, Babaji, Advaita Vedanta, Sanatan Dharma, and these very simple, easy techniques. They do require time, daily time, and work, but you'll find over the weeks, months, and years a great resolution to all life's problems and issues, and a growing sense of peace and joy, knowledge and wisdom and understanding that gives you a residual core sense of beingness and meaning in your life. Basically, the joy of living is to be found through these wonderful techniques of Vedanta, Kundalini Kriya Yoga, Babaji Nagaraj. And I wish you all love and support on your path, on your journey. It is a great adventure and a great journey, and I wish for you that your adventure and your journey starts right now as you continue to look into all these and discover who you really are and your soul love realization. Dr. Joseph Martin, all love and blessings to you. Om Namah Shivaya.